Ready, let's keep it short, let's keep it quick. Let's do this thing. Hello everybody and welcome back to session 31. I should have checked that before I started. The newest session of this little podcast. My name is Brianna and I'm the designer, dyer, and human behind The Little Wolf Knits and this YouTube channel. If you are new here, welcome. And if you are coming back after some other videos, welcome back. I'm glad you liked what you saw. It is Wednesday, February 28th, end of the month here. And I'm here to chat about some things I've been working on, some things I've finished, all things knitting and spinning. No crochet today, but if you want to see all the things I have to talk about, grab a cup of something, grab your knitting, and let's jump in. First, let's talk about what I'm wearing because this is really exciting and it happens to be release day today. So by the time you see this, yesterday, for this new design, the newest design, I should say. This is my D Street distressed sweater. It is the coziest, comfiest. It has all these really cool distressed drop stitch details throughout. There's some here. I think I've shown this before. On my back, on my side. Really, really fun. And this is my Molasses colorway on my Opti base, which is a worsted weight sweater. It's super fun. There are options in the pattern for cropped or full length, and you can follow the pattern exactly to get all the distressed details that I got, or there are general instructions to add the distressed detail and make a truly one-of-a-kind unique sweater. I am so excited to see how excited everyone has been about this release and how much everyone loves it. I think almost all of my testers have casted on or are casting on a second one, so you know it's a good pattern when that happens before the pattern even comes out. So I'm super excited for the love you've shown it, and I cannot wait to see everyone else's D Street sweater. Well, I'll be chilling in mine over here. So maybe let's start with things that I've finished. No. Let's start with admin. Let's start with admin. I just have a few things today because I haven't done as much as I wanted to. Cozy Peaks and Cheeks Mal still going on. Use the hashtag Cozy Peaks and Cheeks Mal 2024 for all garments, things that cover your peaks and your cheeks. Extra bonus if it is one of my patterns or my yarn and you have started and finished it between December 31st or whenever the mal started and March 31st, which is when it ends. If you do that, go to the Google form in my bio and submit an entry and you will get chosen for some extra prizes at the end of the mal. Otherwise, we have monthly prizes getting chosen on Instagram using that hashtag and in my wolf pack, and it has been so much fun to see everybody whip up all these amazing garments, a lot of projects which have been like a long time coming. I wanted to make this forever and it just keeps getting pushed to the back burner, but this is the year and people are getting things done and it is so cool to see. By the time you see this, there is 10% off code for all ready to ship yarn still in my shop through technically the end of the month. So if you're watching this the day this video comes out, you could get 10% off with the code LOVEYA on my site, and some yarny things that are coming soon. First, Moana boxes are now live. I talked about them a lot last week, so I'll just give a quick recap here. July countdown, there will be 16-day, 31-day minis inspired by Moana, and they're going to be bright and tropical and fun. There's going to be a fingering weight option and a DK weight option, and I am so excited. People have already been commenting and reaching out about how excited they are for this one, so it makes me even more excited. And I honestly am so sick of this gloomy weather that I want to start dyeing these colorways soon to give me a pop of brightness and life, and I really can't wait. Last thing I'll say, I know I should have had my March clubs dyed and spun up and ready for y'all to see, but they did not get done, and that is okay. They will be done certainly by the next time I film for next week's video, but if you want to make sure you don't miss my March clubs, my From the Open Road Club and the last Gilmore Girls inspired club for Q1 of this year, make sure you're following me on Instagram, turn on notifications, and make sure you're on my newsletter, and I'm going to send out a newsletter as soon as those are available for you to see. Those are all the big news things. I think I should have taken notes. But here we are. So let's talk about all the things I've finished since last time. We have a few finished objects. I don't know if you could see some of them here. Some of them I expected to finish. Some I expected to finish and almost didn't. And then a few really cool surprises. Let's start with the thing I expected to finish. I showed these last week. Can you tell what these are? As they were mostly done, but now they are fully done. Ends are woven in. They have been blocked. I have not snipped my ends yet. And I also just haven't strung the elastic thread through the top of the waistband. It'll take 2 minutes and I just haven't done it. But these are my thick Beachcomber Flares, and I am obsessed with them. I love my fingering weight ones so much, but these truly are like a pair of yoga pants that I bought from the store. Like, that's how cozy and comfy they are. I'm trying to look at the front and the back. This is the back because they're short rows. Fold over waistband. Long legs since I'm so tall. Just kidding. I just like my flares really long so they like kind of touch the ground. And a cool little flare. This colorway is They Don't Know on my 420 base. And in the past, They Don't Know was not available widely and regularly as a dye to order colorway. But now it is. So if you want to be my twin, you can go grab that. And these will be going into testing in the first week or so of March, which is next week. So in the next week or two, you should see a testing call. Hopefully for these, like I always say, my wolf pack gets first dibs and then my newsletter gets second before it comes to Instagram. So many times I'm not even getting to Instagram for my tester calls. So if you love these and you want to make yourself a pair of DIY knitted yoga pants, make sure to get on my newsletter because you are not going to want to miss this. Okay. Love those. FO number one. FO number two. Last time I chatted, I was like, this will definitely be done. I'm going to get so much knitting done this weekend. And I got very little knitting done this weekend. I almost got nothing done at all. I actually ended up finishing this because I worked on it so much on Monday morning before I got a migraine. And then Tuesday, yesterday, I did a bunch. It is completely finished, off the needles. All of the ends are woven in. It has not been blocked yet. So once I block it, I will snip these ends. But this is a shawl that I made. I love it. And it's only going to grow once I block it. And I'm really, really excited about that. So you can see this fade. This is cosyposyyarnco 2022 Solstice Advent Fade. This tonal is a bit more stark than this tonal, but I actually don't mind it. I like that color. And this is a shawl for my mom, and she also loves that color. But this is what it's looking like. It's a really nice size. Honestly, I was worried it was going to be too small. I'm glad I went to the width that I did, so it fits really nicely up here. And I think it's a good length, and it will be even larger once it gets blocked. Part of me was like, maybe I'll keep this for myself, but I'm not going to. My mom used my shawl the last time I was home, like every single day. She was cold, and she actually wore it like this around her shoulders, and I think this is the perfect size for that too, without it hanging too low. So I'm gonna save this and put it aside for Mother's Day, and I hope she likes it. Otherwise, I guess I'll take it back. But FO number 2 is done, and I am so excited. This is where I was on Tuesday. When I chatted with you last, I was in this orange, or maybe in here. So I did almost half the shawl. But again, during the weekend, the retreat, I did the orange and some of this green. I hadn't even gotten into this green yet. So Monday I did these 2 colors and then finished it off on Tuesday. I'm taking this Progress Keeper off. It's a cute little heart. That was a goodie that came with my Nest Fiber Advent, I think. But I'm going to take it off, and then this is going to go in the bath right after we finish talking. Speaking of my Nest Fiber Advent, my Valentine Advent, I have a third FO, and it is spinning. It's technically, is it 2 FOs if I put it into 2 skeins? I'm calling it 1 FO because it was 1 spin. But one of them is in a skein, although they're not soaked yet, so they haven't bloomed. But I think once they do bloom and set, whoa, we are going to be even more in love. So this is days, I don't know what days it is because I did a fractal spin of my Nest Fiber Co. Valentine Advent. I took each braid was an ounce. I split it in half, spun 1 to 14 end to end, so I had 7 ounces. And then I took the rest of that, so the ½ ounce, split it in half again, and then spun 1/4 of an ounce, so a quarter of the braid, 1 to 14, 1 to 14, and I made a giant fractal. This is, who knows, maybe 4 or 5 grams, maybe 5 grams it feels. 5 ounces, I'm sorry. It feels like a thick skein, and this is the rest of it. Look at it. It's bigger than my head. It's so big. But when I was plying, I was like, I wonder if I could fit all of this into 1 bobbin. I think a bobbin's like 8. It can hold like 8-ish ounces. So I figured I wouldn't fit all of it, and I should have split it in half, but here we are. So this was the beginning of the spin, and then this is the middle all the way into the end. Tonight, after this video, I'm going to put these into block, and then I'm going to turn on some TV and skein this up, soak these so both of them can bloom tonight. And I'm so excited. That is FO number 3. I don't know what it's going to become. It's looking like a fingering, maybe a sport, but it's looking like a fingering. We'll see what happens after it blooms. I also realized when I'm winding onto my Nitty Knotty, the way I wrap it, some of it gets tighter and part of the skein gets looser. So like this part of the skein is definitely tighter than this side over here. So I don't know. Something I need to figure out. I guess I will do it with more practice. But those are all of the things I finished, even though I didn't at some point thought I was going to finish nothing. Beside my pants, I finished those last Thursday or whenever I filmed, last Wednesday, I guess, whenever I filmed this last podcast. I finished it that night. Those are my finished objects. Let's talk about what else I've been working on since all of my old whips are done. I only have 2 whips going right now, spinning included, really, that I've worked on. I have one over there in my melanated boho bay I haven't touched, so I'm not going to show it. And both of these whips you have not seen yet since they've been started. You saw one in project plans last week, but you have not seen either of them actually have any work on them. This one, I know I said I was gonna retire this bag, but I wound this yarn up yesterday before we went to the movies because I realized I was going to finish my shawl in the movie. And I said, I need something mindless. And I'm glad I wound it up because now they're started. But this is not mindless. I'm following the pattern still. So I would not have been able to work on it in the movie. I literally got to the last row in the last 2 minutes of the movie. And then Michael was like, you're just going to have to be a normal person like the rest of us and watch a movie without knitting. I panicked, but it didn't happen. So we're all good. But this whip that I threw into a bag since it was already ready, again, my Finch's Nest wintry bag that's most certainly going to be in retirement probably before I finish this project. And in it, I have some hand spun yarn. I am continuing to spin, and I'm realizing if I'm not using my hand spun, I'm going to have a hard time learning what to adjust and change and figure out what I like more and what I like less in hand spun yarn. So I decided to take this and cast this on. This was my Falkland sample that has pinks and peaches and browns and should be really fun, and was plied. It's a 2-ply with an undyed Falkland that I spun on my drop spindle. And this project is going to be, it is, I guess, a Traveler's Cowl. It's so cute. It has a little, oh my goodness. It has a little chocolate chip cookie on it that I love. And I love the way these colors are melting and fading into each other. And I love it even more because I made this. I took this yarn that was bare and I dyed it and I spun it, and now I'm knitting with it. And I just can't believe this is real life. This is my first time really making something with my hand dyed yarn, my hand spun yarn, never mind hand spun yarn that I dyed. And it's just so special. So it's going to be a Traveler's Cowl. I'm making the toddler size for one of my nieces, Michael's sister's daughter. And I just started this yesterday, but it's pretty quick. This yarn I'm getting a sport weight gauge, so I'm using a US 4 Chiagu as recommended in the pattern for a little bit of a thicker, denser fabric, which is good for a cowl, I guess. And it's tiny, but it's gonna be for a baby. She's 3, 2.5. So this will be perfect for her, hopefully to throw on. I don't think I'm going to give this to her anytime soon. So she will be 3. Derek just turned 3. So she's going to turn 3. By the time I give this to her later this fall, maybe for her birthday, maybe for Christmas. But I think she's going to love it. She grabbed a shawl that I had made that I was going to donate and then brought up to family to say, anyone who wants this, take it. And she took it, wrapped it around herself, and wore it all weekend. She's 2. So I was like, okay, I think she needs a little shawl or cowl of her own. So that is whip number 1. And in the same bag, it's technically not a whip yet, although I have yarn wound up. This is measuring as a fingering weight, slightly more yardage. This is my American Rambouillet, and it's dyed with like blues and teals and browns. And this is going to be for her older sister, and it's going to be a Traveler's Cowl as well. Another toddler size, I'm pretty sure. I want to look and see what the recommendation is, but I don't know that I have enough yarn for the next size up, the child size. And she's 5. She's 4. She's 5. She will be 5. I think she's 5. So hopefully that works. But after I finish this one, which who knows how long it'll be, since this isn't necessarily the mindless project that I thought. Although, who knows, maybe now that it's set up, I'll understand the pattern a little bit more and be able to work on this without reading every single line of the pattern. But right now, it is not. But then, this will be a second whip to follow. And I'm keeping my chocolate ice cream cone stitch stoppers on here because honestly, it's what was already in the bag. So that is whip number 1. Whip number 2, you've seen in last week's project plans coming soon. And I was hoping that this project would be done mostly over the weekend, honestly, within a week, by the end of this month, and this Valentine bag would still make sense, but I don't think that's gonna happen. So I don't know if I'm gonna keep it in this bag, maybe, until I'm done with it, or if I'm gonna switch it out. But this is my bag from Fancy Boy Designs, super cute hearts and polka dots. Inside it, I have my classic colorway. This chocolatey brown on 420, and I was making up, I'm losing all my things. I pulled the stitch stoppers off. I am making up a second sample and a gift for Sophia of my Central Ave cabled crop, but I'm at a bit of a pause. I didn't cast it on until Saturday. Nope, I think until Sunday. It was until Sunday because Friday at the retreat, I pretty much was doing math for pattern writing. Then Saturday, I was working on this and didn't finish it. Sunday, I cast this on, but could not work cables and start a pattern doing that. So I continue to work on my shawl, and I only have about 2 rows on it. But I'm hoping this will get some love soon. And it has to get done by the end of March because that's when Sophia's birthday is. But that's whip number 2, and that is all I have today. I feel like I flew through that, but those are the only things I'm working on. I really want to stay focused on those 2. Feel like I got a bit spread out with some other projects over the last few weeks, and it has stressed me out. I guess I'm not even going to go into project plans because I don't have any particular plans at this point. Now that I'm working on those 2, there are some things I want to spin and get something on my wheel, and I think it is officially time for that Hello Sunshine to get spun up. And I'm thinking it's going to be a 3-ply, which means I need to spin those singles fine. Very fine. But it's all part of the learning, which is super fun. So I think that's the only plan really in the works. So let's, I guess, talk a little bit about life stuff. Okay. What have we done since the last time we chatted? Michael and I are still watching Game of Thrones, but we are in season 6. A few people this weekend were like, I cannot believe how y'all are flying through that show. We're watching a lot of it. And there's a lot to watch. So we're on season 6. We're super excited to not like be done with it, but we keep just wanting to watch more, watch more, watch more. So it'll be done before we know it. Who knows what we're going to watch next. I'm also still reading some things for our book clubs. I'm reading The Silent Patient. I think I had just started that last time we spoke. I am like 2/3 of the way through. It is good. Honestly, it's good. It's not that good. Like, I'm reading because I'm like, what happened? Like, I need to know what's going on. I guess it's suspenseful, but not like, oh my God, I can't put it down. I just want to get to the end to figure it out. But some of the people in the book club have finished it and said, I did not see that ending coming. So now I'm like, what could it possibly be? Because I have no idea what could cause that reaction. So that's what I'm reading and looking forward to. This past weekend was so incredible. The wolf pack had its first and hopefully not last retreat with knitting weekend. Folks flew in from all over the country and stayed at a cool bed and breakfast in Bethlehem. So we got to explore a little bit of Bethlehem, spend most of our time knitting and chatting and hanging out together. We had some cool dinners and meals planned at places around Bethlehem and at the inn, and everybody got to come to the house, see the studio, rifle through inventory, do some yarn pairing and planning, and it was so much fun to see everyone playing with yarn. One, it was so cool to see my house full of people, but playing with yarn and putting color combinations together and helping each other. And the thing that my heart just like melted, there were people that were like, oh, I love that colorway. I was looking for skeins on that base and someone else had already grabbed it and they were like, no, this is yours. You need this. Like the sense of community and caring that happened in that space that could have been like very competitive or like, this is mine, didn't surprise me, one, because this community is amazing, but just filled my heart. I feel like the entire weekend I kept saying, I can't believe this is real. Like, pinch me, this doesn't feel real. I feel like a year ago when our wolf pack started, I was like, oh my God, imagine we could plan a retreat. How wild would that be? And I never imagined that it would be true. And this is my real life, and I'm getting to do yarn so full time. It's not a side business anymore, and my private practice is growing and thriving. I'm still taking on new clients and still have some space, but I'm feeling really solid in how that's growing, and the people around me in my life are so amazing. It was just a really surreal moment that I still haven't fully let settle in or sink in. I got a really bad migraine on Monday, like bad. I haven't had a migraine like this in probably months, and probably because of so much excitement. We weren't sleeping that much. You know, we were talking and chatting. We weren't even drinking that much, but migraine knocked me out, like out. I was not doing anything. I was literally laying at one point in an empty bathtub in the dark because it was the darkest room I could find. But I'm on the mend. I still have that like lingering migraine hangover. I don't know if y'all get migraines, if you know that, but I'm definitely on the mend and feeling better, which is so good because that was bad. But that was on Monday. Tuesday, yesterday, we saw Drive Away Dolls, which is a Coen Brothers movie. It is very like Pulp Fiction-esque, weird. It's really cute. It's a story about two lesbians traveling to Tallahassee in the 90s, but it was cute. It was funny. I liked it. And tonight we have a wolf pack dye workshop. So the top tier of my wolf pack, there are 3 tiers. There's the pups, which is the lowest access, access to all our Zooms and knit nights and things like that, Discord, all of that. Tier 2, the betas, have everything for pups, but they also get a 10% off discount code for every single month. So if you order, I think it's more than 1 or 2 skeins a month, you actually save money, because what it costs to be a beta, you will be getting a greater discount. Does that make sense? It will cancel out if you buy 2 skeins. If you buy more than 2 skeins a month, it actually you're saving money. And then the outfit tier, which is all of those things and exclusive access to dye workshops that we run every quarter, where we start to finish, choose the inspiration, create the palette, dye the actual colorway, name it, speckle it, do all the fun stuff, and then the rest of the wolf pack has access to purchase it. But I have our quarter one workshop tonight, and I'm super, super excited. We all decided and landed on the final inspiration picture, and I really can't wait to come up with our palette and put it onto the pan, because you never know what it's gonna look like until you actually dye it up. But that's the plan for tonight. Michael's in charge of dinner, although it's almost 5 o'clock. Hopefully he gets home soon. And I'm going to block these things and soak these things, and I will chat with you next week, because this has been back to a weekly podcast, and I'm feeling super proud, and I hope you're enjoying it, because I'm really enjoying it too. So I will chat with you then. Until next time, take care of each other. Bye.